Hello, I'm Brenda Braxton. We are interrupting your regular programming to bring you some breaking news from the PSU area here in downtown Portland. Now, Portland police tell us that a hit and run has injured several people, sending them to area hospitals. We don't know how many people were hurt or how badly. These are some live pictures from the scene. This happened at Southwest 6th and Hall. TriMet says there are several max disruptions. The green, orange, and yellow lines are disrupted due to the police activity at Southwest 6th and Montgomery.
We just were able to talk to a few people, and what they say is really disturbing. Somewhere around 6th and Hall, someone said they came out of a Starbucks, saw someone driving on a sidewalk, hit 3 girls. This is all not confirmed, but things we're hearing at the scene now. Sped down and actually stopped at traffic lights before driving away.
You can see the investigators behind me from Portland Police and also Portland Fire and Rescue talking about the investigation. You can see also they've cordoned off about a block here to keep traffic off of 6th at Montgomery. What's interesting, though, is you don't see any real signs of the crash itself. Some people have noted the clothing that sits on the sidewalk across the street there, evidence of the victims who were injured. But beyond that, it's not like what you'd expect from a typical crash scene with broken glass or plastic or remnants of the vehicle. You described it as driving fast. We've heard from other witnesses who said the same thing. Give us some sense when you say it was driving fast. What do you mean by that?
I would assume that he was almost going like freeway speed.
We have heard that they are still looking. Witnesses were able to give police a license plate number of this vehicle. They are looking for that person and that car right now.
One of the things that we're doing right now is collecting surveillance footage. We are asking if there were any witnesses in the area at the time that captured cell phone video, that they contact the Portland Police Bureau non-emergency line.
3 women who were injured in this crash this morning, 2 of them dealing with serious, potentially life-threatening injuries. The 3rd individual with serious injuries again, but believed to be not life-threatening at this point in time.
I was standing like perpendicular to it, so like the accident happened right here and I was facing this way. I saw the car speed down past like the MAC station in front of the rec center. I saw 2 of the girls' bodies like fly, heard the impact, and then saw the car speed off and get back onto 6th. And then I dropped my bag and ran over to start doing what I could and had dispatch on the phone.
Give me some sense, if you would, on how fast this car was moving at the time.
I would say like 45 or 50. I mean, that's just like my guess. No like professional opinion, but that would be my guess.
And the vehicle itself, what can you tell us about it?
It was like a Mazda Tribute Ford Escape type, like SUV type of thing, and it was blue.
Did it appear that he intended to be on that sidewalk?
Yes, very much so.
Did it look like he was targeting these people standing on the sidewalk?
Maybe not targeting the specific people, but definitely it was not an accident that he was on the sidewalk. He purposely jumped the curb.
Did you see this individual in the vehicle?
No, I did not.
You doing okay?
I mean, so I'm smiling, but that's like the shock, and it's starting to wear out. Like, I'm starting to notice I'm shaking a little bit more. When it first happened, I wasn't shaking. I was just like focused on what was going on, and now I'm like, okay, maybe I should sit down soon.
Well, we certainly hope that you're okay and hope you tend to yourself. It's been a difficult morning. Thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brenda, we'll send it back to you. Obviously, we've heard from a number of witnesses this morning that either saw this incident occur or the aftermath and raced to the scene to either provide some assistance or just watch police respond to this play out.
It's been confirmed by Oregon Health Sciences University that one of the patients here is in critical condition. So that is very serious and potentially life-threatening condition. The other is in serious condition, so 1 step down, and then the 3rd is in fair condition, so yet another step down. All 3 treated at the emergency room here and are being cared for right now by doctors and nurses.
And I wanted to kind of alert drivers that in addition to that being closed off, it's probably a good idea to avoid taking the 405 North exit ramp to 6th Avenue, because that pretty much dumps you off right in that vicinity about 2 blocks away. So you really have nowhere to go getting around down there. You're best to avoid that. 4th Avenue might be a reasonable alternative, but it's probably best to just skip those exits altogether off of I-405.
This is a jam-packed area. Not only do we have PSU in the area, we have St. Mary's in the area, we have multiple apartment complexes in the area, the buses, the MAX. I mean, this is the hub of downtown.
It is. It is.
I can tell you something happened with that car. There, is not very much debris on the sidewalk, as my colleague Kyle and Boshi and I have been kind of telling you. No car parts or anything like that. There is some kind of leak. There is fluid leaking from that car. And I can tell you without compromising the investigation that they are tracking that fluid. And they have tracked it at least several blocks away from this area. And then they are using also surveillance video of businesses to see if they can continue to track that car even further than they would find the fluid. So it's just one of the tools that they're using: the license plate, the fluid, the make and model of the car, video, and folks, cell phone video of witnesses.
We, of course, have impacts on Max and TriMet. So just in from TriMet. Line 94, no stops in the vicinity of Southwest 5th and Broadway to 6th and Market. These updates continue coming in, by the way, on their Twitter feed. So the best bet would probably be to just check trimet.org.
Trauma affects us all in very, very different ways and for different reasons. It might be impacting you because of something that happened to yourself a time ago, and it's bringing up stuff from that. So I think the biggest part of it is getting support. Understanding that, yes, sometimes at the very beginning we're in shock and numb, and that's very typical, and connecting with whether it's our mental health call center, which is 24/7.
Really, the key element at this point is looking for that vehicle that is the focus of this investigation, that SUV that went up on the sidewalk, hitting those two women and then driving off.
And we talked to a person who said he came out of Starbucks, saw this car hit these three women, kept going, nearly hit him, came within inches of hitting him. He had to put his back
Brian,
to a building.
I'm going to interrupt you for just a second. Forgive me for the interruption, but we are looking at live Sky 8 pictures right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 police cars there and a blue SUV. We believe this is the vehicle. We believe that it's the vehicle, and it's in Northeast Portland. I am just... Okay, they are pulling somebody out of the car. Let's just look at this for a second. I'm going to get up and move because I want a closer look at this. So they are handcuffing this man in the red shirt. And you've got the police dogs up there, a very tense situation. So almost 2 hours after this hit and run in downtown Portland happened, we are looking at an arrest, taking someone into custody in Northeast Portland. Do we have producers? Do we have a better location than just Northeast Portland? It looks like an older man. Northeast 16th and Gleason is what I'm being told. So again, yes, take a look at that, the hood of the SUV, the blue SUV. It is just caved in. And again, there are 3 young women at OHSU right now, and they have been injured because they were run down outside their school. Again, look at all this. I can't quite tell how old that gentleman is that they are putting into that police cruiser, but they have, for a variety of things, again, whether it's the license plate that witnesses say they took pictures of and told police about. I mean, they clearly used all possible resources to take them to this particular scene. Okay, Portland police tweeted out that particular picture earlier today, and then we see as well the car there on your screen with heavy damage to the hood of the car.
But I'll tell you that SUV is going to be there probably for a while now. They try to freeze everything, grab every piece of evidence they can. They, of course, will be, giving this person their Miranda warning, but then asking them, did you have a medical emergency, or is this a hate crime? What's going on behind this? And trying to start to get some quick answers as soon as possible.
This all obviously will take quite some time. A lot of us, see TV series play out in a half an hour or an hour and figure it's resolved just that quickly, when in fact, these things obviously take weeks, months, if not years to play out in the judicial system. So it certainly will take time, but this is a critical step for investigators to locate what appears to be the vehicle involved in this crash and take one person into custody. The next step is piecing it all together.
You know, Brenda, there's just been some amazing firsthand accounts of what people saw today, and this is new video that just came in from a viewer of the area shortly after this happened, of people rushing in to help, trying to do their best to make sure that everyone is okay. It appears they were just across the street from where this incident occurred, and you know, a lot of I wouldn't say chaos, because it was handled very beautifully, but you can see that there are definitely emergency vehicles on the scene trying to attend to those who were involved in this. And this was shot just a short time after it happened by one of our viewers.
I saw two of the girls' bodies like fly, heard the impact, and then saw the car speed off and get back onto 6.
I was at Starbucks. If I would have taken a full step out, he would have hit me.
I'm 100% sure this was intentional. Attack, basically, with the way he was driving. I have no doubt in my mind it was intentional.
We begin tonight with a violent hit and run on the campus of Portland State University.
3 women are in the hospital. At least one of them has life-threatening injuries after a car went up on a sidewalk and on the campus this morning. This all happening about 10.
And then just after 12:30 this afternoon, as you can see from Sky 8, officers circled the blue SUV believed to be involved. The man behind the wheel was taken into custody. Police have not confirmed if he was the driver at the time of the crash.
Right now, this is what the crime scene at Southwest 6th and Harrison looks like from Sky 8 above the Portland State campus. The area is still cordoned off, and Southwest 6th Avenue is still closed.
We have KGW team coverage beginning with Kyle Eboshi live on campus. Kyle, take us through what happened today.
Well, Tracy, first an update. We anticipate them reopening this area quite soon. In fact, they're starting to remove some of the crime tape behind us. And this is just happening in the past few moments now. Investigators say witnesses and the community really played a critical role in finding the vehicle involved after putting out an all-points bulletin. From Sky 8, you can see a swarm of police officers take one man into custody after a citywide search for a blue SUV. Witnesses say the driver took off after hitting 3 people on a sidewalk on Southwest 6th Avenue at Harrison, right in the heart of the Portland State University campus.
I just saw a fast car, and I was thinking to myself, that car is going way too fast for being on this road.
I saw 2 of the girls' bodies like fly, heard the impact, and then saw the car speed off and get back onto 6.
The scene unfolded at 10:04 a.m. Witnesses say the driver of an SUV intentionally pulled up onto the sidewalk. He hit the 3 young women before driving off.
I was across the street and I was just talking to my friend, and then we're hearing sirens and there's people yelling, and we're just running over to try to see what happened.
Witnesses provided photos and a detailed description of the SUV. This is actual audio from the incident.
We definitely have video of the vehicle as it veered out the bus mall onto the sidewalk driving northbound between the building and the platform, so it does appear intentional.
3 hours later, someone spotted the blue Mazda Tribute on the other side of the Willamette River at Northeast 16th and Gleason. Officers found a man sitting inside the vehicle and took him into custody. The search was over. So far, police have not released the name of that man taken into custody, nor have they provided any information about why he may have done this. Back to you.
Kyle, thank you. A witness to the hit and run took these pictures of the SUV barreling down the sidewalk. The photos help police to track down the vehicle.
KGW's Mike Benner spoke with the eyewitness. He continues our live team coverage tonight. Mike.
Well, Tracy, John Strong is still amped up, and you really can't blame him. He was just yards away from this crash, and he says it's something that'll stick with him for some time. Now, I want to show you some pictures that he was able to capture. Talk about the presence of mind to get these pictures so that officers had something to work with. Strong tells us he was at a stoplight on Southwest 6th when he heard something unusual. Turned out to be the vehicle hitting the first group of young women. Strong then saw with his own eyes the vehicle run down the other girls before continuing down the sidewalk. Strong estimates the driver was going anywhere between 40 and 60 miles per hour. Strong believes more people would have been hurt, if not killed, had it not been for a TriMet bus that pulled up and forced the suspect vehicle off the sidewalk. Certainly a lot to take in. Strong says his thoughts are with the victims.
I feel horrible for those girls, and I'm praying for them and their families, and hoping that their recovery, that they all recover. I know at least one of them is in critical condition, and I've been thinking about all of them today, and just that vision of seeing them on the ground, and it was horrifying.
Strong believes this hit and run was intentional. At this point, though, detectives won't say one way or another. Back to you.
Mike, thank you. Look at this video. A witness took it just moments after that SUV tore through PSU.
We spoke to the man who captured these images. Matthew Ritzie says he and his wife are visiting from out of town for their anniversary, just taking a walk in the downtown area when they came across the aftermath of the crash.
When you come upon a scene like that, you don't know, what's taking place. So at first, going through my mind is, okay, are we in danger? Is anybody else in danger? Could it have been a shooting? Could it have been somebody, stabbing, individuals across the way? I didn't know. So those were all going through my head at the time, and just, looked around, trying to see if there's any suspicious persons walking around me. And that's when I finally asked somebody, what's going on?
Ritzie says when he arrived, many people were already there on scene helping, as you can see in the video, including lifeguards from a nearby rec center. Investigators would like to see any other video from the scene. They can as they try to piece together what happened. If you do have any or just some information, they're asking you to please call their non-emergency line. That number is 503-833-3333.
Police took the man believed to be the driver into custody about 2 hours after the event. KGW's Pat Doris is live in Northeast Portland, where the car was located. Pat.
Tracy, about 10 minutes ago, police took the car away on a tow truck. It took almost 6 hours to get a search warrant to seize the vehicle, which might suggest the case is a little more tricky than we think. But suspects or witnesses from the scene and police put out a good description of the suspect. They basically crowdsourced it. There's a lot more people in the community than there are officers, and a sharp-eyed neighbor in this area saw the vehicle and called it in. Portland police made finding the suspect SUV and driver a top priority, and from Sky 8 we could see it in the number of officers that rushed to the scene. At first, police worried the driver might bolt away and cause more damage to people or property. Here's a police leader talking to other officers over their radios.
If it's parked and we can do appropriate tactics to arrest him, I would like to do that. I would rather not have the car get away and drive and potentially damage itself worse. I want to keep the evidence.
Police surrounded the vehicle, not sure who or what they were dealing with, then ordered the man to keep his hands in the air and reached in an open window to take control of him and put him in custody. He appears to be an older white man. Police said they did not find any weapons or explosives or anything unusual in the SUV. Officers credit a sharp-eyed neighbor who called this in.
Saw the vehicle, noted the damage, and then returned home and saw on the news or social media that a vehicle like this or this vehicle was potentially involved, and that was the reason to call 911.
Many neighbors I talked with here are shocked that the SUV was discovered on their quiet street. Alicia Hurst is also relieved.
I'm happy that they're off the road. I was a little nervous knowing that they were still driving around because, from my understanding, the driver was very erratic.
This quiet neighborhood is finally now returning to quiet. Back to you.
Thank you, Pat. PSU is calling for students and staff to come together tonight to support each other.
Campus resource centers are open for them to gather tonight to process and talk about what happened there today. For anyone who needs to talk to a professional, PSU is referring students to the Multnomah County Mental Health Call Center. That number on your screen right now, 503-988-4888. We'll have more on today's hit and run coming up throughout this newscast. You can also find the latest information throughout the evening at kgw.com.